Hi again, welcome to Just God TV. My name is Jim Piper, and again I welcome all of you who are watching wherever you are around the world. We are in our third message about what it means to follow Jesus. We talked about the fact that to follow Jesus we need to follow Him publicly. We also talked about the fact that we need to be in God's Word, read God's Word, know His Word, grow in His Word. Today what I want to do is I'm going to talk to you about a simple phrase. To follow Jesus, you have to be ready. You have to be ready to follow Jesus. You have to be ready for anything because you never know what's going to come your way. Great blessings can come your way. Great challenges can come your way. God may ask you to go through something or to do something that you were not banking on doing, that you were not hoping to do, that you did not want to do. I remember many years ago, I was watching this movie, and it was a bit humorous to me because there's a man who had a certain idea of how life should go. And everything was supposed to be perfect and great and wonderful and all of that. And it didn't turn out that way. So he decided that he was going to commit suicide. He was going to take his own life. And the way he was going to do that is he was going to swim out into the ocean and just keep on swimming until he couldn't swim anymore and then finally drown. And while he was swimming, he was talking to God. He was complaining to God. He was saying, God, this is all your fault. All this stuff has happened in my life. This is your fault, and that's your fault, and that's your fault. And as he continued to complain to God, he started getting more and more exhausted. But then he began to think about stuff, that a lot of the things that happened to him, he did himself. And that life, though it had some tough things that happened to it, it also had some good things that happened to it. And right about the time he got so exhausted that he wanted to give up, he started having new hope. He started realizing that life is a gift. The good part of life is a gift. The bad part of life is a gift. And so he turned around and he began to start swimming back. But he knew that he couldn't make it without God's help. He was so exhausted. He was so far out there. So then he began to pray to God. He said, God, if you help me, I'll give you everything that I own. And then as he got a little closer, he said, God, then I'll give you 80% of everything that I own. As he got closer, he said, Lord, I'll give you 50% of everything that I own if you help me get back. And so on and so forth until finally he got to a place where he knew he'd make it. And then he said, God, this was all your fault in the beginning. And he got up and he walked away. And I thought, that is the picture of us as human beings, is that we just so struggle in giving God credit where He needs to have credit, but we sure love to blame Him for everything. So blaming is what we tend to do. If you want to follow Jesus, right now you need to understand that what He's promised you is that He will never leave you nor forsake you. But what does that mean? Does that mean that He's going to take you out of all your troubles? Not necessarily. Does it mean He's going to give you great riches? Maybe, maybe not. We really don't know what it means. So, in order to follow Jesus, I challenge you today to realize that Jesus wants you to know that you need to be ready for anything. That's a pretty tough assignment, but that's what it means to follow Jesus. I'll see you next time on Just God TV. This is Jim Piper. Thanks for joining us.